Switching gears to talk travel, we partnered with Tourism Australia to help you discover why there's nothing like Australia for an unforgettable holiday. To help you plan that trip, we're joined by the expert travel journalist, Lauren Christie. How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Okay, so Australia is a beautiful place to visit, but I've never been. So why do I need to go right now?
Literally, it has it all. Seriously, I've been the best snorkeling of my life in Port Douglas, one of the best meals of my life in Melbourne, the best run of my life around the Opera House in Sydney.
Really?
It has amazing animals. If you tuned into the last hour, you saw, koalas and kangaroos, wombats. It's just beautiful landscapes, natural beauty, and amazing cities. But I think it's really important also to remember in 2023, they have an incredible amount of hallmark events happening. So it's a great year to go.
Okay, so let's talk about these events. What's going on?
Well, one of my favorites, World Pride, is happening in Sydney from February 17th to March 5th. And in 2014, we had World Pride here in Toronto. And if you've been to Pride in Toronto before, it was like Toronto Pride to the exponent of 10. And I think it'll be the same thing in Sydney. And Sydney's Pride is one of the best. So I think this is the year to go for Pride. They're going to incorporate the Mardi Gras celebrations right into what they do.
Oh, cool.
It's just a great 17 days of celebration and commemoration. So highly recommend that. The other one that they have going on, if you don't want to travel in the winter, but maybe you want to go in the fall, South by Southwest, which you probably know from Austin, Texas, is actually expanding beyond Austin, Texas for the first time, and it's going to be in Sydney. So for the Southern Hemisphere, it's huge news. They're going to bring together film, TV, music, gaming, technology, innovation. So I always think South by Southwest, if you want to go and experience the vibrancy of a city and really feel some energy, it's an awesome time to go. So really great that Sydney's hosting that for the first time, as I said, outside of Austin.
That's amazing. Two huge events, two huge festivals for reasons to go to Australia. Where else should people go outside of Sydney?
Lots of great cities. I do love Melbourne. I think Melbourne kind of takes the best of Toronto and Montreal in terms of the neighborhoods and the vibrancy and kind of jams them together. Melbourne is incredible. Great coffee culture, great food culture. What I love about there is you get all these little alleyways that you can explore and check out the food and the drink and whatever. And in recent years, and I hadn't had a chance to see this yet, and I'm looking forward to it, local street artists have transformed those laneways and little hidden parkades into massive street art, like masterpieces of street art. So it's the most wonderful city to get lost in and explore. Now, on the flip side, if you're into beaches, which, you know Australia, love beaches, Perth, which is the capital of Western Australia, is a true gem. And they have the most incredible coastlines there. So if you want to go out and enjoy some beach culture, yeah, look at it. It's absolutely stunning. Perth is perfect. And then what's new in Perth, which is what I like, there's always something new going on. What's new in Perth is they have just opened in recent years, I think it's over 15 new distilleries. So if you're someone that likes spirits, and by that I mean alcohol, not ghosts, but if you like that and you want to go and do a tasting and have a really interesting way to see the city, it's an awesome way to tour around. I just love that when you meet someone local who's opened up something like that and you get a chance to talk to the maker of the distillery or whatever. So really recommend Perth for 2023 as well.
I love that we showed that snorkeling video, and you mentioned right off the top of this, snorkeling near Port Douglas. I think Australia, and I think the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah, and that was part of it. Port Douglas is part of the Great Barrier Reef, and it was jaw-dropping. I think, honestly, it was one of those things I couldn't even believe what I was seeing. So I will go back and do that again for sure. But one thing I didn't do the last time, which I will incorporate into that, is I think it's really important to, especially when you go to Australia, but anywhere you go, but incorporate an experience with the local culture, meaning the Aboriginal culture. So the Aboriginal and Torres Island communities have been around in Australia for 60,000 years. So to go to Australia and not make that part of your experience, I think is a mistake. And in Cairns, which is sort of the epicenter of the Great Barrier Reef, I was kind of Googling around a little bit. There is a company called Dreamtime Snorkel. And so they seem to do things right. You know, they incorporate sustainability, which is really important for the reef, but they also hire Indigenous guides so you can have a respectful and authentic experience. So I think if you're going to go to Australia, you have to make sure that you do that.
Lauren, thank you so much for coming. Honestly, talking to you in this conversation, like crossing everything else on my list and circling Australia. So thank you.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Okay, coming up in the show, we are going to be checking out some Australian-inspired food. That's coming up after 8:30 Eastern.
Your morning is brought to you in part by Tourism Australia. Come and say good day.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.